I wanted to come on here today and talk about sugar. The one thing we all can't live without. Most people are born addicted. Most people die addicted. A lot of people die from it. I want to tell you all about a story where I would have been dead if I was on the same trajectory and on the same path that I was on when I was consuming sugar. And people say, oh no, it's not true. It's like, oh, you just like a little bit of sweets or whatever. But when you see it for what it is, and when I went through the experiences I went through, the way it makes you feel, the way your mental state is when you're consuming large quantities of it, as I was, the way it makes you perform when you've got stuff to do, the way you wake up in the morning when you want to get out of bed and your head feels like someone's hit you with a freight train. Maybe you know the feeling. I know how I felt when I was eating large amounts of chocolate, pastries and terrible foods that were just destroying my body. And I loved them at the time. I loved them. Every single day I would go down the shop, go down there late at night, of course, because I was embarrassed. Truthfully, I was embarrassed that I would be buying large quantities of chocolates and pastries and cheesecakes, all this stuff that I thought would make me feel better, at least temporarily, because it makes you feel better temporarily, but after you hit with the consequences, the minutes after eating it, the consequences hours after eating it, and the consequences the next day and the next week and the next month. And after a while, you end up looking how I looked. I'll pop a picture up on the screen so you can see. Extreme inflammation, skin issues. My body was not functioning right. I had zero motivation at all. And I generally do consider sugar to be the most powerful drug on the planet. And I truly mean that. It has the same effect. I've never been a drug addict, but I can imagine it's very much the same. And when I was typing it in, you look at the same sort of withdrawal symptoms that you get from, say heroin or crack. You get them from sugar. They're the exact same. Think about it logically. If you was like me, or you was addicted, or you are addicted right now and you're watching this video and you're thinking, damn, that does sound like me. You know, the next day when you want to stop, you know you should stop. But there's something in the back of your head that just says, well, just go back there and just get one more thing. Or I'll just go to the shop to get some food. And you walk past that aisle and they're looking at you. Maybe it's the biscuits, maybe it's the cheesecakes, maybe it's the pastries, whatever it is. Maybe it's even fast food, loads of sugar in it. And it's staring at you and it's telling you, just have a bite, just one. That's what you always tell yourself. That's what I used to tell myself. I remember literally, you go in there and you say, oh, just pick up one thing. One thing, you take it home, you eat it, and you go, actually, let me go back. And it's a cycle that will continue up until the point you take action and visualize the situation you're going to be in the future if things do not change. See, when I look back at that picture I put up on the screen, and at the point of me taking that picture, I can remember I didn't think anything was wrong with me. In fact, I thought I looked good. I was that disillusioned and that addicted to sugar. I thought I looked good. Bloated, a mess. My skin was horrible. You know that feeling if you've eaten large amounts of sugar the next day, you wake up and your skin is tight. Your skin is tight. The inflammation is burning you from the inside out, You see in my eye, the skin issues were appearing. It was only a matter of time. It was only a matter of time before something seriously bad happened. I knew. But at that time, I was in self-denial first. I was in self-denial that, this is a true issue that I'm facing. I thought, everyone else does it. Do you want to be like everyone else? See, there comes a point where you're going to have to talk to yourself and say, is this the person I truly want to be? Do I want to be the gluttonous pig who chooses the easy route when times get hard? Do you want to be the person who, when things get a little bit difficult, you go down there and you buy that ice cream. You go, I'll just eat my sorrows away. Because that's what it mostly is. It's eating your sorrows away. I had a bad day. We've all had a long day at work. You're struggling. It brings you an ounce of joy to your miserable existence to eat that chocolate bar. I understand. Trust me, I've been there. And I've been addicted to where I thought that was the truth. I generally did. I thought by eating what I was eating, it would make me feel good. And in that split second of me putting the spoon or my hand to my mouth or breaking that piece of chocolate and putting it there, just taking that bite, it felt good. It felt good in the moment. But you see, the thing is, things that make you great, things that push you forward, they don't usually feel good in the moment. In fact, that's usually when they feel the worst. Yeah. As soon as you understand that, you can start breaking free from the person you are, and the prison you're in, from the food you eat. So that's the story of how I was. Now, it got worse than that, realistically. When you can't wake up, you can't do anything, you don't want to go out, you don't want to make money, you don't want to live your life. You want to give up, realistically, but you're still disillusioned because you're addicted. That's why I say it's similar to a drug. Very similar. In fact, there have been studies that suggest that the addiction you get from sugar in the brain, the neurochemistry, is on the same wavelength as heroin. So what's the difference? What's the difference? Both have the similar outcomes. Heroin makes you skinny, lazy, don't want to do anything. You become homeless because of it a lot of the time. And sugar makes you lazy, makes you fat, makes you give up. It's very similar to any other drug. It's similar to weed. Makes you give up. Makes you think everything's okay in a moment. I don't need to try anymore. So, I want to just leave you with one tip. The tip that made me break free to where now I don't eat that. I don't eat sugar. I don't hide from it. I don't avoid it. I can go out. I can go to a restaurant. I don't need to push myself away from it. It passes me by. And I go to a supermarket now. I don't even go down the aisle. It doesn't even appear in my mind. But if I did have to go down the aisle that would have stuff that I loved, my eyes would glance past like there's nothing there. Like you would be walking down the street and a person walks past you and you pay them no attention. It's not there anymore. That noise, that yearning for what I used to want, it's gone. The process is truthfully having to kill the old version of yourself. I know that sounds crazy. I know it does. But to be the man you want to be, you first have to know the man you do not want to become. And visualizing success on one hand is great, but visualizing your potential failure and the potential your life can become if you really don't do what you know you need to do can be even greater. And so it took me one day of going through the cycle. And it got to the point where I was stuffing my face, a glutton. You know, it's a shame to even admit. But I was to a point where I was eating so much of this stuff, so bad, stuff in my face. I would feel sick. It got to me when I was literally had my head over the sink, and I was trying to make myself be sick because I was like, man, I feel physically ill. I'd just eaten so many calories, you know. I'd sit there, I could eat 4,000 calories worth of chocolate or desserts, let's say. Yeah, and you eat 4,000 calories in 10 minutes, you're going to feel some sort of way, especially with that sort of food. And it took me leaning over my sink, trying to be sick, for me to be like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Why am I doing this right now? This is not the version I want to become. And I had you call a recollection or an image appear in my head of the future that was going to be me. And I want you to visualize the same person who you are going to become. Maybe you're even worse than what I was. Maybe you're 200, 300, 400, 500 pounds right now and you're sitting there and you're thinking, damn, I'm already there, but it can get a lot worse, trust me. You can be dead. You can be paralyzed. Your body. Yeah, everyone says, oh, I don't care. Go ask that to the people who are sitting in hospital beds from diseases that could have been cured by just locking in. I bet they'll have a different answer. They don't care. Yeah, go find one of them that'll say that. Go find one of a terminally sick person who knew what he had to do, didn't do it, and is suffering the consequences of death in front of his family. Go find me someone who says, well, you know, the cheesecake was worth it, buddy. I'm willing to die. You won't. And I want you to visualize that real quick. And you have to visualize it because close your eyes if you have to. Be brutally honest with yourself and see your future. See the future life that you have. See the people, how they're going to look at you. How they're going to see you when you're fat. The way they're going to perceive you when you walk down the street. The way they're going to perceive you in business, your relationships. Maybe you've got a wife, maybe you've got kids. Do you want your children or your wife to see you that way? To see you struggle, weakness in your heart? Come on, man. You're better than this. You are better than this. That's the thing. It may feel hard now, but hard things are good. The reward is at the end. But the journey and the path you're going to go on is going to be so much greater. So much greater. So you have to visualize first what you don't want to become. I want you to see it in your mind like I had to in that moment. When it all flashed before my eyes. It flashed before my eyes and I saw the truth of what my life was going to become. I saw me fat. I saw women not paying me attention. I saw my potential children running off into a field and I couldn't follow them. I was out of breath. Like a fat slob. I was out of breath. I saw my children being picked up by other men, stronger men, people who are in shape. What's your daughter, what's your son going to be thinking in their mind when their dad's a slob? Is that the future you want for your children's mindset of you? Do you want them to be thinking, well, my dad, he just likes to eat food, but I'm going to make someone else my role model. My dad's not my hero. Soul crushing, isn't it? It's going to be. Maybe you don't want kids. Think about yourself. If you're self-obsessed, think about the future for yourself. Think about the life you can't live. No more trips, no more fun, no more partying when you're bed bound, when you're in hospital, when you're dying of disease and everyone's looking at you and they're going, oh, I feel so bad for you. But secretly in their mind, they're going, well, this guy, he gave up. He's a loser. He could have been avoided. This could have been avoided. Most diseases can be avoided, okay? People don't realize that. Most diseases, even ones that you say are genetic mutations, only appear from the environmental factors that we put into ourselves. Whether it be through the products we use or be through the food we eat, you're changing the expression of your genes every time you eat something bad. Every time you put that sugar in your mouth, all them chemicals and all that crap, you're changing the expression of your genes and allowing cancer to enter, which makes you weaker, which makes you more susceptible to disease, which then ends in your life. So be brutally honest with yourself. You have to be. You have to be. I'm at the point now where I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't think about it. It doesn't cross my mind. And it never will again. Because that old version, I still think about him every day. And I know I do not want to be that person again. And trust me, the grass is greener on the other side. So stick with it. Stick with it. If you watch this video and maybe it's resonating with you right now, that's a sign. Okay? This is a sign. Do something about it before it's too late. Okay? Goodbye.